The first time I saw her, she was kneeling in chains beneath a burning alien sky, and everyone around me believed she was nothing more than a trophy of war. Her name was Cariel, last blood daughter of the Varelian crown, and the moment our eyes met across the shattered plaza, I knew the universe had made a terrible mistake. Because humans don't keep prizes. We change destinies. But I didn't know that yet. None of us did. Earth fell in 13 minutes. Not to bombs or firestorms but to silence. The Varelian armada arrived without warning, their ships eclipsing the sun like judgment made of metal. Our satellites went blind. Our weapons shut down. Our skies filled with ships so vast they bent the clouds around them. I was a logistics officer, not a hero. Lieutenant Marcus Hale. No power armor. No command authority. Just a man watching the world collapse through cracked glass. And when the invasion ended, the Varelians didn't enslave us. They collected us. But that was only the beginning. The Varelians believed in hierarchy the way humans believe in gravity. Everything had a place. Every being had a rank. After the war we learned the truth too late. Earth hadn't been conquered for resources. It had been conquered for tribute. Across the galaxy, defeated civilizations were forced to offer something of value. Technology, artifacts, lives. And the Varelians had lost something precious in the war. Their princess. Which was why weeks later, we stood in chains inside the grand concourse of Kethvar Prime, watching them drag a royal prisoner before a roaring alien court. But no one told us she was the prize. Cariel was smaller than I expected. Slender. Her silver-blue skin was marred with ritual scars, her bioluminescent eyes dimmed by exhaustion. A fractured circlet still clung to her brow, proof she had once ruled something vast. The Varelian High Marshal announced her capture with pride. Taken alive during the sack of Lyrith, he declared. A symbol of our dominance. The crowd thundered approval. I felt sick, because I'd seen that look before. On human faces dragged through ruined cities. On prisoners paraded for morale. And something inside me snapped. What I saw next changed everything. Cariel didn't look afraid. She looked resigned. As if the universe had already betrayed her. And this was simply the final insult. When her gaze drifted across the assembled humans, it paused on me. Just for a heartbeat. Long enough for me to feel it like a punch to the chest. She wasn't pleading. She was measuring. And that terrified me more than the guns. Our assignment was simple. Human auxiliary staff for the Varelian capital. Sanitation. Labor. Nothing important. I was assigned to the lower citadel. So was she. Apparently, a fallen princess made excellent motivation. But none of us were prepared for the truth. The first night I saw her in the holding wing, she was bleeding. Varelian guards didn't beat her. They didn't have to. Her physiology reacted violently to the energy restraints. Every breath looked painful. I shouldn't have stopped. I did anyway. I offered her water. My rations. A blanket scavenged from a maintenance locker. She studied me with alien intensity. Why? She asked, her translator implant struggling with human consonants. I didn't have a good answer. So I told the truth. Because no one deserves to be displayed like a thing. Her eyes flickered brighter. That was the moment everything changed. We spoke in fragments at first. Short exchanges. Careful words. Guards were always close. She told me about Lyrith. A world of floating cities and living crystal spires. About ruling a people who valued consensus over conquest. About refusing to submit to the Varelians. They came for obedience, she said quietly. I gave them defiance. The price had been everything. And the worst was yet to come. Weeks passed. Rumors spread through the capital. The princess wasn't being executed. She was being prepared. For something called the Ascension Rite. A ritual where conquered royalty were stripped of identity and reforged into symbols of Varelian supremacy. Living proof that resistance was pointless. I couldn't sleep after that. Neither could she. You should let me die, Cariel said one night, voice barely audible. It would hurt them more. I shook my head. They don't deserve that satisfaction. She smiled sadly. Then what do you suggest, human? I didn't know. But humans are dangerous when cornered. And that was the beginning of the impossible. The mid-story truth hit me like a plasma blast. I accessed restricted archives using credentials I shouldn't have had. Logistics access has privileges most people ignore. The Ascension Rite didn't just erase identity, it rewrote it. The subject's neural pathways were overwritten with loyalty protocols. Their body enhanced. Their mind broken and rebuilt. They would crown her again. As a Varelian weapon. Wait. This is not what I expected. I told her everything. She listened without interrupting. Her expression unreadable. When I finished, she did something unexpected. She laughed. A quiet, exhausted sound. So, she said, they wish to make me royal again. Not the kind you want, I replied. She leaned closer, lowering her voice. Marcus Hale, what if I already am? That was when she revealed her secret. The circlet wasn't just ceremonial. It was a living crown. A neural symbiote keyed to Varelian royal authority. As long as she lived, she could command their systems. But only with consent from another sentient mind. They designed it to prevent tyranny, she whispered. Two wills must agree. Her people trusted others. The Varelians never understood that. And suddenly everything made sense. We didn't have a plan. We had a moment. On the day of the Ascension Rite, the citadel filled with dignitaries. Power surged through the spires. The city itself seemed to hold its breath. I was supposed to be nowhere near the chamber. I went anyway. When the guards raised their weapons, Cariel spoke one word. Stand. They did. The crown flared to life. Alarms screamed. But it was already too late. Marcus, she said, reaching for my hand as energy arced around us. I cannot rule alone. My heart hammered. I'm just a human. She met my eyes. That is why it will work. I took her hand, and the galaxy tilted. Through the crown I felt her people. Their hope. Their grief. Their defiance. Through me she felt humanity. Fear. Rage. Compassion. Choice. The Varelian command network bent. Ships powered down. Weapons locked. Across the capital, warriors fell to their knees. Cariel rose, chains dissolving into light. Royal. But not theirs. And none of them were prepared for what came next. She didn't order vengeance. She ordered change. The Varelian caste system shattered in minutes. Tribute laws nullified. Conquered worlds released. The High Marshal tried to resist. The crown judged him. And found him wanting. When the light faded, Cariel stood beside me, not above, not below. An equal. In the days that followed, the galaxy reeled. Earth was free. Lyrith was restored. And the Varelians were forced to learn something new. Humans do not make good slaves. But we make terrifying allies. Cariel asked me to stay. To help rebuild. To help rule. I said yes. Not because of power. But because when the universe tried to turn her into a prize, a human chose to treat her like a person. And in doing so, he made her royal again. The last thing the galaxy learned was this. The most dangerous thing in the universe isn't an alien empire. It's a human who decides someone else deserves a crown.